Hello to anyone who is out there watching. If you are out there watching today, first of all, let me just say that I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to take a look at what I'm doing with my day. It means a lot to me. This is actually only my second video that I've ever done, and again, I really just thank you for your time. Hopefully you enjoy. What we are looking at today is the CRKT Squid family of knives. What we have here at the top is the standard configuration Squid, followed by 3 Blade HQ 500 piece limited releases. Now, what I'm going to do in this video is sort of talk about the difference between these 4 knives and explain, the different configurations and the variations of the limited editions, and then also go into a review of the family as a whole. If you want to, you can skip ahead to the review part. I will put an annotation of the time that it starts in the description, just to save you some time if you're not interested in getting the details of all these knives. Maybe you know about the Squid family already as it is, or you're just not interested in the limited editions. What I will say, though, before we move forward is that just because these are limited editions doesn't mean they're not readily accessible. Actually, as of the time of making this video, these 2 blackwash blades are still available on Blade HQ at a really good price, and this stonewashed one has been seen on aftermarket websites, eBay especially, with not a lot of price gouging. So again, all 4 of these knives are available for you, so if you're interested in getting a CRKT Squid, here's all the information you might need to make the best decision of which one you want to chase. Starting at the top, we've got the standard definition Squid. All right, this is an 8CR13 MOV blade. We've got a stainless steel frame lock, as you can see right there. All right, and a really nice stone wash on the frame and also the blade itself. All right, it's a good little tank of a knife. Weighs in at about 3.4 ounces, and there is also a pure black wash configuration in this that is also another standard configuration. This one, of course, just the stonewash. All right, so moving on. This is a limited release. The only difference between this and the standard configuration Squid is that this has the grenade kind of patterning or texturing. So I think they call it the grenade in the description, but it's really like, it's a grenade grid kind of thing. It doesn't actually cut any weight. It actually weighs exactly the same, 3.4 ounces, as the regular Squid. All right, but there is a good amount of texturing and comfort that grenade pattern gives you. So again, really no difference. Same blade steel, same weight. The only difference that you're going to have is that texturing, which is still pretty cool. And for the extra few bucks, I think it's worth it. All right, but these last 2 down here are the ones that really make the upgrades and the improvements in the line. All right, so this first one, you see it has a carbon fiber handle scale. It has a regular stonewash blade, but then the back frame is actually made out of titanium. So this knife is extremely light. I think it comes in at 2.1 ounces, which is very, very light. The steel is actually upgraded from HCR13 MOV to Sandvik, and I believe it's the 12C27 Sandvik. I personally don't have a lot of experience with that. I know it's an upgrade, but I don't really remember any of my other knives having it. Most of the Sandvik that I've ever used is the 14C28N. So I can't really give a grade on how great of an upgrade it is over HCR13 MOV, but it is an upgrade. All right. And then, so that's the third one. And then last but not least, there we are. Excuse the camera for a minute as I try to focus on this last one. Last but not least, we have this knife, which also has the carbon fiber handle scale. It has the blackwash 12C27 Sandvik steel, but instead of the titanium upgrade, this still has the stainless steel frame lock. I think there was a bit of a snafu with the communication with this knife being made, because you can see right here in the lettering, if I can get it to focus, it says CFTI, which should stand for carbon fiber titanium, but again, this is a stainless steel frame lock instead. And so this one weighs in at, I believe, 2.6 ounces or 2.5. I'm actually going to move over and weigh this one real quick just so we can get a good look. 2.59 ounces. Excuse the shakiness. All right, so 2.5 ounces, 2.59 on this one. And then the carbon fiber one, the lighter one, 2.15. So big difference there. Really big difference between the titanium and the stainless steel. And then just as proof, 3.44 for these other two. 3.44 ounces. All right. So that's sort of what you get in terms of the difference between the knives. All right. That's sort of how they are different and how they distinguish themselves. All right, so let's scoot in and we'll sort of go over a review of the whole family. All right, so my review of the knives just in general is that they're great. They're a fantastic little budget investment that you can make, and they're fantastic tools. These two at the top especially are sort of what I think the squid should all be about. The essence of the squid is that this knife has a bigger bark. Excuse me, the other way around. This knife has a bigger bite than its bark. And what I mean by that is it's really small, it's unassuming, it doesn't seem like a knife that is gonna just get a lot of work done, but because it's beefy and it feels great in the hand, it can. You can get a lot more done than you would expect. Now, it's a really excellent tool for the size. It doesn't look like a weapon. It doesn't look intimidating at all, but it's just a knife that's going to get a lot of work done for you and just be very, very productive. And it feels great at 3.4 ounces. Maybe a little bit hefty, but not too bad. All right, these other two knives coming in lighter, you sort of lose a little bit of that usability in terms of this knife at 2.1 ounces. I don't want to be using this all day long. I don't want to be cutting with this. I mean, even though we all know that carbon fiber and titanium are a lot better materials than steel and the HCR 13 MOV, that doesn't mean that it's a better tool and it's better in terms of usefulness. I really don't think that it is that. And the reason why I got this bottom one was because it had the stainless steel instead of the titanium. It had that little extra weight, and it actually, in my opinion, is the best out of the group because you have the upgraded materials. You still have enough weight to get work done with it. So again, this one is definitely my favorite. Definitely the one I would recommend the most. Still available now. I don't work for Blade HQ. I don't work for CRKT, but I would definitely recommend jumping in and getting that at a decent price point. In terms of fit and finish on these knives, all four of them are really good in terms of deployability and lockup. All right, these are built like tanks. The lockup is fantastic. The speed of the flick is really good. You can see when I focus how big this thumb stud is. You can really get your thumb under it and flick it open pretty quickly. And no up and down blade play, no side to side on any of these four knives. One of the four has some pretty bad centering. This one's not perfect right here. And another squid that I've had in the past and seen in the past also had some centering issues, but this one is one that is not centered particularly well. You can take a look right there. It's almost rubbing, not quite. Actually looks a whole, oh, there you go. You can see it's just off. I had to play with it a little bit and get it to this point. It was actually worse at one point, but it's a little bit better now. But still, lockup on this one is perfect. So for the budget that you're gonna pay to get these knives, really can't complain about the small centering. There is one other fit and finish quirk about this knife that it's just a curiosity more than anything else, and it's something that I've seen consistently along almost all of the CRKT squids that I've had and come across. On the backspacer right here, you can see there's like a triangular little nick right there. It's just a machining flaw that just shows up in so many of these knives. This top one here has it. This one actually doesn't have it. Do you see that right there? There we go. See that? Just a little slice out of that backspacer. And this one has a big one. You see that? So yeah, just some fit and finish issues there in terms of the machining. Not sure if it's going to be corrected or if it really matters. For the budget of this knife and what you're going to pay for it, it really doesn't matter to me. It doesn't really affect its usefulness or the knife when you're operating it at all. Also, I have had to take apart a couple of these knives, and the hardware is great. Nothing strips, nothing is like stuck in too tight. All the pieces fit together very well, so no complaints there. Overall, this is a family and series of knives that I would highly recommend. I try to stay away from saying, hey, this is a great knife for the money, because when you're using a knife and it sort of lets you down, you're never going to say, oh, well, it's great for the money. You're going to say, wow, I wish I had a better knife. And with the CRKT Squid, you sort of a win in both areas, because I don't really feel like this knife is going to let you down for what its philosophy of use is. Just a good, strong, everyday carry where you can get a lot of like daily work done. You're going to be happy with it. The price points that you'll find these knives at, $16 to $20 for this standard top one. I think Blade HQ has this one at $25 right now. This grenade pattern. This one sold in the 40s when it was available. It sold out very quickly. But again, secondary market, you should be able to find it for the $40 to $50 range. And this one at the bottom here, I think it's $35 on Blade HQ right now. And that really is the steal of the lot. They're all steals. They're all going to be knives that if you don't have a lot of knives, if you're looking for one knife that will just be a good trooper to get stuff done with, this is probably a good one. Definitely just recommend it across the board. So, last thing I'm going to do, just for a visual comparison and to show you some good competitive options, I've got a couple knives that might work. Just for the visual, the size reference, I've got a Benchmade mini griptilian right here. You can see how much smaller the CRKT Squid is. Here, I'm going to push these up and actually bring the standard one down so we can take a look at it. All right, so you can see how much smaller the Squid is. But it actually weighs more than this mini griptilian because it's all the stainless steel frame lock. All right, so that's a good size comparison, so you know that you're not getting a very big knife at all. All right, but a good knife to compare it to in terms of actual usage is this right here. This is a Spyderco Ambitious. This one has been modified with an acid etch, but I mean, for the purpose of this video, the focus is really just the difference between these two knives. And it's interesting because these are both 8CR13 MOV knives. They're both made in China, and they're both budget knives at a pretty affordable price. This CRKT Squid you can get for under 20 bucks. This one right now, I checked it about an hour ago, it's at $30 plus on Amazon. All right, comparing these two knives to each other, it's sort of tough. I will say that I prefer the Ambitious over the regular Squid, mostly because of the G10 handle scales and the jimping is pretty good on it. But if I took this one out and put this one in, I will take this Squid over this Ambitious any day of the week. And it's almost an identical price point. So, yeah, I'll just give you one more minute to take a look at those knives. And it's definitely something to think about. But that's really all I have in terms of this family of knives. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully if you were looking and trying to learn a little bit about these knives, you got some information out of it. If you do have any questions, comments, complaints, suggestions, definitely let me know. I always want to hear about it. I do have a tripod coming, so hopefully some of this shakiness will be stopping very soon. But anything else I can do for you, let me know. I appreciate your time again, and take care. Have a good day.